We are starting our first day here in Kobe. Good morning. We have got a room with a pretty cool view overlooking a bit of the city. It's a room that you requested, like a room with a view, and they hooked it up.
In booking.com, there's always a little request box, and I'm always like, what could I request? And I saw that this building, you could get down on the 3rd floor and you wouldn't have a nice view. So I just typed in, nice view, please. Thank you.
And they hooked us up on the 12th floor. So we got that nice view. Other than that, it's just like a normal, slightly better than business hotel. It's nothing like remarkable. But I want to go forward here and show off the best amenity.
What is the best amenity? Is
it
me?
Go to the door. Yeah, go to the door.
This door?
Yeah, this door. Now, I want to show everybody the best amenity. Do you know what the best amenity is?
No.
This little shelf here.
It's really hard to get out.
What is this shelf? What is this for?
There is a mirror. I can see some use for it, but I also don't think it's necessary.
What are you going to put there? We got a shelf. We got to put something there.
It's perfect. Look at that. Wow. They understood my desire to use that shelf because I don't have a need for it, that's for sure.
When I was in Kyoto, I saw a thing, and you didn't see the thing, but I kind of want to get your hot take on it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show everybody what the thing was. It was this thing, just an ad. I didn't see it in like action. I don't know exactly anything. And I honestly have no idea what I'm really looking at here, but I'm sure that you're going to have some wisdom.
Wow. I think it's a smoking pipe. Are you supposed to blow bubbles? What is this? Is it like for an ad for like a shop and this is like their item, or is this an ad for a thing you buy?
It's an ad for a thing you buy at that shop. Let me give you more context.
Oh, I get more context? Ah, so the Tanga shop is trying to appeal to women now, and with an eggplant.
Wait, you think that's for women?
Yeah, I thought it was for women.
What is...
Where's your dick go? What?
It's got a hole.
That's why I was blowing bubbles. What?
Did you check out that name?
Yeah, that's why I thought it was for women. Why do we ever stop rolling the camera? I am a genius, and I had to ask him to put the camera back on. That shit is blowing bubbles. I really think that it might be more outside of the body than inside of the body, but bubbles. I had to think. So you thought that was for dudes. Do explain.
I didn't know how big it was. You know what I mean? Like, I thought maybe you like in the pocket or something. I thought it might have been larger. Like, you know what I mean? I don't know. What am I supposed to know? I just saw like, why would a woman want to buy something called a womanizer? Like that, to be womanized is a bad thing. So I was like, women wouldn't possibly like this. I think I was going more off the name than I was trying to dissect like what the physics of the device were. But I've learned something today because we found a YouTube video that showed how it worked. You can Google that on your own. Okay, you can open yours. Now, I don't want to make this a commercial for Womanizer because this video's already kind of gotten over the line, but I'm thinking that this woman here found a sea womanizer. This is nature's womanizer because she's sitting on that porpoise hole.
Wow, this is a really graphic statue. What's going on in Kobe?
This is is our first visit to Kobe. It's kind of outside the Goldilocks zone of easy travel for when you live in Tokyo. There's like this mathematical equation that takes place. It's like if you're really close to Tokyo to a certain degree, it's cheap to get there because local transport or the Shinkansen isn't that expensive. And then if you go far away from Tokyo, then cheap airline tickets can get you to places. But Kobe kind of falls in this awkward middle area where
Goldilocks zone makes it sound good. How do you negative Goldilocks?
It's where the bear eats the Goldilocks. That's the zone we're in.
It's the bad bear zone. We're in the bad bear zone.
Yeah, there's just this area of distance, and that's why we haven't ever been to Kobe, even though we've lived in the Tokyo area for 10 years now. So we're kind of exploring Kobe as tourists, because that's kind of what you do on your first visit, unless I guess you're a business traveler or whatever. But we're not business travelers, we're definitely tourists.
Yeah,
see the glasses? These are...
yeah, it says traveler.
Travelers.
Booking.com asked me if we were here for business or pleasure.
We have come down to...
It sounds like we might be sponsored by Booking.com, not sponsored by Booking.com.
We might be sponsored by Womanizer, but that's coming later. We've done the thing what most tourists, I think, would do when they come to Kobe. There's a few things you can hit, and one of the first things is the port area, which sometimes people will be like, the port area? Why would you go to the port area? But Japan tends to do port areas in a decent way sometimes. Yokohama's got a decent port area that's pretty touristy, and this one feels a little more low-key, but similar, like a nice park vibe, like you can walk around and like see some things. And they've got some monuments, like this thing behind us is the Kobe Tower, I think is that what it's called? At the moment it's under construction, so it's not like really great or anything, but it exists and it's there. And
there's some other structures in here. We're having a wander, and then we'll probably head out.
There's one of these things.
I'd say it's a little underwhelming.
Yeah, but I guess for a tourist it's a little underwhelming, but if you live near here, it'd be a nice place to come and walk, and I'm sure it's pleasant and stuff. It's nice that it exists.
All these people aren't wearing sunglasses. They're either business or they live here and they're really enjoying this area. Okay, good. Now I understand.
I need some sunglasses or some residency.
These are pretty wide. They'll probably go over. No. You got to keep them both on.
Go over?
I want you to look nice and stupid. Yeah, there you go.
Oh, I feel fresh.
I can't see. We talked about interesting structures, and what's behind me is this. Like a ocarina that came out of the ground. I don't know what this is, but surprisingly it's built by Japan's lottery system. You know how they have like the big lotto in America? Here they have takurakuji, and you'll see like little stands where you can purchase a lottery ticket. People can go anytime they want to buy a lottery ticket, and the money that you didn't win made this. Inside are some bells, and I totally thought you could climb to the top of it, but you can't climb to the top of it. So I was wondering if the bells were going to go off, and they did not go off at 11 o'clock. So maybe we won't get to hear the bells.
Maybe you got to win the lottery for those bells to go off.
Oh, dang. Go get a ticket.
Down here at the port, they've got some information, and in the information, it is explaining how Kobe is Japan's window to the world, and that a lot of people back in the 1800s and stuff had used the Kobe port as a port of debarkation. What is the word? Leaving port? What's the word?
Deportation sounds like they got kicked out.
Deembarkation?
Disembarkation means you're getting off the boat. I don't think we can do this.
You can do this. There's a word for this.
Exit.
Port of exit for going and living in different places around the world. And specifically, the very first one that it lists here, it says in 1868, 153 people went to Hawaii from here. And they've got a picture of like an old style steamboat here, and it says this is like the immigration boat, or the boat for people who are immigrating to places. And it's just cool to see that they're kind of holding on to that, like as part of their legacy and stuff, that like this is, an important place when Japan was just starting to like reach out and start to have contact with the rest of the world. Kobe was an important place for that.
Eric, this is where they put all the benches that are supposed to be in all of Japan. They're all right here on the coast. So if you need to take a break, you're gonna need to come to Kobe to take a break while you're walking around.
Do you think that bench from Aomori was brought here?
Yeah, it's got a plaque, no doubt.
When most people hear the word Kobe, the next word that comes to mind is beef. So we've decided that we want to try Kobe beef at least once or twice, and the first way we're going to go about doing that is in a Kobe beef burger, which probably isn't the most like Japanese traditional way of going about having Kobe beef, but that's what we're gonna do because it's lunchtime and it's burger time. We've also got a bit of a history eating burgers, so we got some experience with it. And honestly, I say Japan isn't like known for burgers, but their burger game is strong. So we've come to a place called Wanto Baga, and Wanto Baga advertises on the internet they do Kobe beef burgers. So I've ordered myself this special house burger, the Wanto Baga. Katie got a burger as well. She just got like a standard cheeseburger, and it looks like the standard cheeseburger. It looks good, but it doesn't look kind of odd the way that this one looks. I'm gonna go ahead and look at the menu here. It's actually on my phone. They've got one of these things, you scan a QR code to get the menu. I'm gonna go ahead and read you the ingredients that we've got here. Of course, there's buns on it. And then there is a Kobe beef patty. So the patty is gonna be made with Kobe beef. Then there is just regular Wagyu roast beef. So there is a difference technically between, a distinction between Kobe beef and Wagyu. Wagyu is beef made in Japan. Kobe beef is Wagyu made in Kobe or from the Kobe region. So this has actually got a little bit of beef from both flavor of cow. And then there is a boiled egg, garlic chips, steak sauce, and mustard on this hopefully delicious burger. So I'm gonna just kind of squish it down. They haven't gotten completely ridiculous with like the size of it either, which is kind of cool. It's not like one of these things with a skewer through it that you gotta like turn sideways and like you get it all over your nose and all that. I've got a pretty big mouth, so I think I'll be all right here. She did mention that the mustard is a house mustard, like they make it in-house. So that's another thing to look forward to in the next 5 or 6 seconds of my life. There's a lot going on in my mouth right now. It's good. I don't know if I need roast beef and burger together. Like, maybe it's too much. I feel like the texture of the beef is hard to detect because the roast beef is, roast beef is a little stringy a little bit, you know what I mean? So it's like what it is by nature. So I don't feel like I got to enjoy the texture of the beef patty the way that I was kind of looking forward to. So I do think I'm gonna take a little piece out and try it on its own. Other than that, the garlic and the mustard is the overwhelming flavor that's going on. The garlic is probably the most outstanding aspect of what just happened there. Yeah, let's get into some of the beef here and see if we can kind of determine what's going on with the beef. We're gonna do a little bit of an experiment here. Katie's burger, the cheeseburger, is not Kobe beef, it's just regular Wagyu. And what we've done is we've cut a little piece of my burger out and a little piece of her burger out, and we're gonna see something. We're gonna science. Just getting a look at this. The Kobe one does look like it has a little more like texture and color to it, but it could just be the section of the meat. It's really hard, to know. You gotta eat the whole patty to find out or not, So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna have a little piece of Katie's, kind of as my base. Going for like texture. Okay. All right, I think I got a baseline. Let's see if this is worth the extra, like, a lot of money. It was like a lot more. It was like 400, 500, 700, 800 yen more, I think, per 800 yen. Katie's like nodding behind, like 800 yen. She knows. Okay, so if you could order the cheeseburger with regular Wagyu and then Kobe, and the price difference is 800 yen. That's kind of what we mean. So is this worth 800 yen? Yeah. It could be that they're just choosing better. It just melted. Like it's much better. It wouldn't. It's so expensive though. Like for a cheeseburger, that cheeseburger is like 1,900 yen or something. You couldn't come here like once a week and grab a burger. It's just the premium of it is too high. But it's worth the additional money. Like it's definitely better. There's a dramatic difference. So that burger, right? Like, you got to do essentially a blind taste test on the meat. Do you think that the price of the upgraded Kobe beef over the regular Wagyu is worth 800 yen?
You're talking to the most frugal person you know, who just ate the Wagyu burger and was totally happy. The flavor difference, the texture, it is remarkable. So I would say 800 for me to have a bite of yours and you to enjoy the Kobe burger is totally worth it. But for both of us to be spending 1,800 yen, nah. And I'll just get the regular burger.
The question that I have...
It's a Wagyu burger. I'm not even getting the regular burger. Are all burgers Wagyu? Nah.
No, not McDonald's and stuff. I mean, probably not. I mean, is that even burger?
You go up into the McDonald's or the Wagyu, they'll be like,
Though, then the question I have is, are they just using low-grade Wagyu to make their Kobe beef burger really good and then make the upsale happen?
They could totally be doing that. That's what anywhere could be doing. They're using the most ghetto, and then they give you mediocre to get those extra dollars. We got an afternoon thing we're gonna do today, and we gotta head there. We gotta walk in some sort of fashion. So I was looking at Google Maps and I saw there's a shrine, a mosque, and a Catholic church all on the way. So we're gonna check those things out. We're standing at the shrine right now, and who is excited about the Year of the Tiger? I mean, with this painting, you can't be but excited. They're so friendly. So obviously there's a big tree back here that they've cut down, and I'm assuming that this is a chunk from the tree. And I don't know if it's the burger that I just had, but this tree smells like mustard. Really smells like mustard and pickles.
What?
No, I'm not joking. You gotta smell that tree.
You got me sniffing trees up in here? It does. It smells spicy.
It smells like mustard
it smells spicy.
and pickles. It's good.
We've made our way over to the mosque, and as you can see, it's actually a mosque in the sense that it actually looks like the shape of an actual mosque that you would see in, mosque-ish type of countries. It's not quite as big as some of them that you would see in maybe the Middle East or Malaysia or Indonesia or something like that, but there's not quite as much space and probably doesn't have quite the number of patrons, is that the right word? Worshippers in this particular area. Comparing this to some of the places that I've seen in Tokyo, which are really small and don't really have the same vibe, it's kind of cool to come along this and see this in the Japanese environment. The other thing I'd like to point out about mosques is the neighborhoods that they're in often have got like international grocery stores and things like that. And by international, I mean like they're serving lots of like Middle Eastern style foods and stuff. And the smells that come out of these shops is so amazing. Like this curry that they're making, or just the spices and stuff that happen in that kind of cuisine. It's just like wafting out of the doors. It makes walking around the block around a mosque worth it all on its own.
This is the second one of these shops that we've gone by that has been displaying the Dr. Pepper outside. Is this a big thing? Is this halal? Like, what is happening here? Donut shops would always give you a knife, because every time I come to a donut shop, it's always a halvesies situation.
How in the hell are we going to cut this thing in half? Like, it's going to just like turn into a disaster.
I meant to put my Swiss Army knife in my wallet, and I didn't.
Kind of in a way that gourmet burger shops have become a thing in Japan, almost with the same atmosphere. Gourmet donut places are starting to become more and more of a thing. There's quite a few of them in Tokyo, and of course we've come across one here in Kobe. And this particular donut shop is called, what is it called? Good Morning?
The City Donut and Coffee.
The City Coffee, oh, okay, I saw the word Good Morning on the outside, I thought. But anyway, we've gotten a couple of their gourmet donuts, and like, I honestly don't know how I feel about the fact that donuts are getting stuff all over them nowadays, to be real with you. Like, there's like cereal and stuff on some of them, and like, they look really good, but sometimes I just kind of want a plain ass donut that a cop in the 1950s would have eaten. You know what I mean? But I don't feel like that's like accessible anymore.
Yeah, and now like when you bring donuts to work, if you just bring the variety, like the straight pack of random donuts, everybody's just gonna wonder, why are these donuts so vague?
Basic. What's a basic? I want a basic bitch donut. Like, is that too much to ask? I don't even know if this one's a donut. It has no hole. So the two donuts that we got, this is a pistachio with chocolate on it, right? Was that the whole thing? And this
pistachio.
Was a banana cream pecan.
Banana pecan cream.
So you say Pecan?
Pecan.
It's not pecan?
Not pecan or...
Pecan?
Yeah, I say pecan.
Okay, I don't know how to say it. My brain doesn't do well with pronunciation. I think we're all aware. Yeah, so there's no hole on this one, so I don't know how you're gonna...
Be the master of cutting. You can go ahead and bite it, and we'll figure that out.
Okay.
I managed to saw one of them in half.
So this is
Freaking
our
magician over here.
This is our fika. To Kobe. We're
Kobe.
Yeah.
The ad for this restaurant uses side boob to attract people.
Is it?
It's not out there. I'll have to show it to you on my phone.
I got you in here. This is all right. The banana chips are a little bit soft in a way that's actually okay. Like they're not like ridiculously like crunch. You know what I mean? They've got a little bit of give. And the rest of it is exactly as expected.
There's more cream on the inside.
Oh no. See,
Oh,
this is
no.
not, yeah, not my basic here. You can get up in there. It's not, that's no basic bitch donut.
Yeah, this is no doubt the better one.
Oh,
But
really?
you have to get the full spectrum. This is cream and indulgence, and that is chocolate. And oddity.
I actually think I like this one more.
Then I'm gladly trade you. We're just walking along, and they have like a little free book library here. You can just take one if you want one. This one's about kombu. You might be wondering, where'd that Catholic church go? Let's just say it was pretty darn boring. We stood outside and we were just like, There was some stained glass. It looks like it's more interesting from the inside, and that was about it. But we just started walking down the road and came across this very beautiful looking and sparkly building. Like the whole building isn't sparkly, but that door is certainly sparkling. It got kind of Elvis feel to me for some reason. And then we looked it up and it looks like it's a Hindu temple. So we're within like 2 blocks. We haven't really left the area that we've been in for a while, but there seems like there's a lot of religion just packed right into this one area.
I wonder if that's a result of Kobe being a port city and them having been like, you know, the doorway to the rest of the world, that kind of thing. And just like historically having a lot of immigration and different types of cultures and stuff that they're mingling with in this area is what is a result of this like diversity, I suppose, you know what I mean? I don't know why everything is kind of packed into this one little neighborhood, but
It's making it easy access to seeing the world, that's for sure.
I'm really just doing some hypothesizing here. We got a lady coming here.
This shit is up. I think this place is called Kitano. It has like the vibe of an old European kind of feel up on a hill, and it makes sense why people wanted to live here, because you do have this ocean view and it's eclectic feeling. It is otherworldly feeling, but still surrounded by Tokyo. But what's interesting within this area, we're not even in Tokyo, in Japan is what I meant. It's all Tokyo. But within this little area, you have these structures that are well kept, well maintained. People are going to see them. They want people to come to this area to see them. And then there are structures that are just completely forgotten about. Like, look at this. This structure has just been so forgotten about. I could go live in there for free. Like, all the doors are open.
All right.
I'm not going
in.
And then if you come over here, like that door is open. This whole structure here is just completely abandoned. And it's right up next to this other one that you have to pay admittance to get into. It's kind of a very strange, like, forgotten world, like, very interesting this.
You're a little excited and you didn't explain exactly what this is. This is up on a hill, like you had said, and it is an area that a lot of European and Western foreigners came to live when Kobe first opened up to like international like communications and life and things like that. So like turn of the century 1900s and stuff like that, there was this a big influx of like probably wealthy, if they were here, foreigners coming and building housing and infrastructure in a way that looked like not Japan, looked much like Europe. So that's why there's all these buildings up here that are in that way. And the reason that they have admittance fees to come in is because at this point, those people are no longer with us. So they've turned a lot of these structures into museums of various different types of themes. And you, of course, have to pay to go into them, which we're not doing right now because honestly, it's nice outside. I just want to walk around and catch a vibe more than like go inside of the museums. We don't have a lot of time here, so we're not going to get a chance to learn a whole lot about each one of these different foreigners who lived here back in the day. I mean, they probably have influence and it's an interesting situation, but at this point, we're still just like, just scratching into Kobe.
Yeah.
So we're not diving deep. But yeah, Katie's right. It is a bit of a strange mishmash of like Japan and Western feeling stuff. And then it's weird how some of it is just dilapidated and falling apart. And some of it is in like really nice, beautiful condition. It's a strange thing, but it's mostly not a mishmash, I use the word mishmash. I can't use it twice in a conversation.
But you just use it 3 times.
I sound uneducated. It's just like a spaghetti of streets that are just kind of going up this hill. And we've got a map, and it's a little hard to follow, and that's kind of fun because you're poking your nose around a corner and you don't know what you're going to find.
Yeah.
And they're just like different things sprinkled in the little area. So it's a cool little walk to get a look at this neighborhood and the mishmash of things that there is to find.
This is a mishmash of a vocabulary here. Yeah, the creep factor is high here. Like, what's going on there? What's going on here? Did they glue eyes on it?
Here's a scooter license plate. It's kind of cool that they have Kobe Tower on it. I don't want to give the impression that this neighborhood is like all dilapidated and crummy. I can feel
it's definitely not. Yeah. There's so much like eye candy from the dilapidated to the polished.
Let's actually turn around.
Yeah. I mean, right there is a strong example of something that's kept up and is to show the times before.
But even some of the buildings that are not associated with like the old style Western influence are still, some of them are still in good shape. They aren't all like
And the's some cool
down.
houses here that we've seen as well. People actually live in this area. It's got like a San Francisco meets Kobe early 1900s feels. What's going on right here? It's really kind of just a weird area.
There's moments where I swear I'm in Europe too. Like I'm just like walking down a little alleyway or something. Oh my goodness, Europe?
I should explain. It feels like San Francisco because it's built up a hill.
Yes.
Yeah. That might not have. Other people might not have felt that.
Here, I'll hold this level. It's always hard to tell on a camera, but
it tells you. Oh no, it doesn't tell you.
It tells me, but not them.
Oh yeah.
But this is a cool little place to come walk around. I'm a little disappointed.
I thought it was going to suck. I honestly thought, I was like, okay, I'm taking us to another tourist thing, but I'm really having a good time looking at all like the peeling paint and little pieces of everything that isn't perfect. Like it felt like the port was trying to be perfect. And this is what we've got, and some of the stuff we don't care about.
The only thing that I find to be a slight bummer is that like it's hard to see some of the buildings because like they're built with courtyards around them and stuff. So to be able to actually see them, you have to pay admission just to get into like their little courtyard area just to see the outside of the building. And we're in somebody's way. So it's a little bit of a bummer because I feel like this is a restriction to being able to see things without plunking down 400 yen here, 1,000 yen there, blah, 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 blah. But they do have like a passport system where you can just get like a ticket to get into a whole bunch of the things.
Oh,
I saw that was like 2,600 yen or something like that. So if we didn't come so late in the day, maybe that would have been the way to go if you felt like going and seeing the insides and things. But that's not how it rolled for us.
Yeah, I don't really want to go inside.
I want access to see the buildings better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, just being like on the outside. Yeah, I see.
Yeah.
Wow. So dinner was kind of crazy. After we hung out in Kitano, that town with the European feeling, we came back to the hotel room and we were just kind of chilling. I was looking up some stuff and Eric was searching out what we were going to do for dinner. Eric found this restaurant that's like run by a chef and his mother, and it seems kind of like cozy and nice, but yet many people go there. It's very busy and it's quite expensive. So we kind of thought to ourselves, maybe we should just give it a try, and if it works out, it works out, and we'll bite the bullet on the price. So Eric picked up the phone. He made a call. Someone answered the phone. They said, yeah, it's not busy tonight. Why don't you come on down? So we were like, oh, crap. Now, we're going to have to pay the bill.
So, again, to remind everybody, we're in Kobe. And, of course, the next word after Kobe is?
Beef.
So that's what we were trying to get into, with some Kobe beef. I just want to establish a little bit. As we're speaking right now, it's 11:30 at night. The experience is finished, and we're a little on the drunk side, so apologies to that aspect of what's going on here.
Yeah, so we essentially made a reservation, told the guy we'd be there at 7:30. We went to the place. We're standing outside of the kind of hard to find front door of the restaurant.
Kind of a hole in the wall.
A sign just says closed. It just says closed, and I'm just standing there going, okay, am I going to open this door? And
from reading the reviews, the sign that says closed is always there, and I know why, and I'll get into that later. He explained it to us.
Because sometimes he doesn't want to work?
He just doesn't want to deal with customers. So he only lets a certain number of people in every night through reservations only. And if it's more people than he feels like dealing with, then he doesn't want them in there, so he just puts closed up.
Yeah. He told us later that sometimes people will call, and even though he has no people in line, he just says, we're very busy tonight. He just hangs up. So that was really cute.
Yeah, anyway, it is a very small little place.
Yeah.
It's teppanyaki style, and they're making Kobe beef. That's his deal.
Yeah, grilling Kobe beef and like other things that come with the beef. It's not like he just hands you a steak or something like that.
But the menu really, you choose either 150 grams or 200 grams. Like that's
tenderloin or sirloin, your choice. Or as we got tonight, he said, how about a mixture of the two?
Yeah.
So he gave us kind of a half and half.
And it is sort of just a meal, but also sort of like a social event because of how chatty he is. He's wonderful. And he's really chatty, and he likes to tell you about Japanese culture stuff, but not like the basic stuff. Like, he's not just like telling you like the really boring basic crap. He's telling you about his family's samurai history, or like just the cultural differences between different regions of Japan. It's not like the surface level stuff. Some of the stuff was stuff I'd never heard before, and we've been here 10 years.
Yeah.
So he's a very chatty person in a good way.
Japanese people didn't have surnames until after Meiji period. I did not know this at all.
Outside of the samurai class, yeah.
Yeah, so that was very cool.
There was just a lot. It is not like an uptight experience. It's a chill experience.
Yeah, it's very relaxed.
And you're just sitting at a bar kind of, and the teppan is in front of you. The grill is in front of you, and he just cooks right in front of you. And
we came in and he was preparing the vegetables, which got grilled, and we got to eat those. We had a little salad, and we got to eat those while he was grilling the Kobe beef. And
salad was really good, by the way. The dressing on it I thought was amazing.
I thought the pepper on it was good, and also it had a baby corn, and basically anything with a baby corn is like, wow, how did you do this?
The other thing that happens about the time that we got there, we were the only customers that got there when we got there, and about the time that we went in, the chef, who is in his mid-50s, his mom is the other person who works there, and she is got to be in her 90s.
Yeah.
She showed up right after we did, and she's a riot.
She put my apron on for
they
me.
give you
They
give you like a cloth apron, and she ties it on the back of you and everything.
It's like in the most delicate way. I could. It wasn't. I knew she was there, but also I couldn't feel she was there. It was very sweet.
So the vegetables and stuff happen, and you're having the vegetables, and while this is all happening, he's also getting the beef out, and he's cooking the beef, and this beef is a extremely high grade Kobe beef. So there's like Wagyu, and there's different versions of Wagyu. We learned all about this, but I couldn't repeat it to you with the accuracy that I was given the information. But there's different grades of Wagyu from different types of cuts and different types of cows. And a lot of the cows have got outside of Japan cow DNA that's been brought in.
Scotland is what was said.
Scotland cow DNA or whatever, but he is using Wagyu beef from Kobe that is, what was the?
Tajima.
Tajima.
It's a brand of cow that has not been Oh, okay. Purebred's
Yeah.
the way to say that,
Yeah,
because
like a
I was
pure-
going to say something different.
The way he explained it was it's like a purebred Kobe Japanese cow, and they're kind of like smaller cows, and it's really exclusive to the point of where there's only 12 or 16 males that are alive at a time that are breeding.
Yeah, they have...
Do I have that number right?
Yes, yeah. So
Something
they
like that.
have the offspring of a bunch, a bunch of offspring that happen, and then over a 3-year period, they raise those up, and then the top 12 of the offspring at that
Males.
3-year period, those 3 males then go off to be the prime candidates, the prime fathers
Yeah.
of the beef that will come. So they really are getting the cream of the crop every single time.
Yep. Everybody else goes to the plate.
Yes, everybody else goes to the plate.
So, and he had showed us as well, he let Kitty hold this 3-kilogram chunk of meat, and they put a stamp on it that says Kobe Niku on it, which is like Kobe meat. And it just indicates that it's from this like specific line of cattle. And of course, like Japanese beef is famous for the marbling, which is the fat inside of the beef. And when he's cooking the beef, he doesn't use any oils or anything at all. He just puts the beef down and lets the fat from the beef become what is greasing the top of the grill. So there's no butter or anything like that. And he said that you'll go to some places that claim they're using Kobe beef or good beef, and they'll use a little bit of butter, a little bit of oil or whatever. And he's like strictly like, that's garbage. You can't go to these places. Like, this is the good stuff. Like, you gotta have it. And I mean, we got to watch him make it, and he didn't use any butter or any oil or anything.
Yeah.
He just used beef on the grill.
And then he started making some garlic rice that we had ordered, which like the internet said that was the tits. And then his mom came out and made it.
Yeah.
And I was just like magically entranced by his mom just making the stuff on the grill.
That gets me to the next point of the atmosphere. They are adorbs. Like, she is a little mischievous, and she's like laughing about things and stuff, and she's doing stuff, and he's like, Yamate, Yamate, like stop doing this, stop doing
He's
that.
constantly telling her to stop doing things.
stop
Like,
doing
it
this.
seems like at one point they were working as a duo to make food, but it got to the point where she's no longer able to make the food in a way that isn't causing a problem.
They've been working together for like 45 years, by the way, at this place.
So she's kind of been brushed to the side, not in a terrible way, but just like, you know that your old person gets past their prime and they're not helping anymore.
She was telling him that he used too much rice when he made the garlic rice for us, which he makes on the teppan, by the way. Like, makes garlic and mixes it all together. The whole thing is just happening right there in front of the grill.
Like,
and she was telling him, you're using too much rice, you're using too much rice. And he was just like, your sight isn't good enough to tell. But it's like, it's fine.
Yeah.
And
so
then she
cute
took the
things
grill,
like that
yeah,
are happening. Yeah, and at one point she was just looking at me across the room and she was like... I don't even know what she was doing with her hands, but I just mimicked back what she was doing to me, and it was really cute. It was nice.
He dropped the glass and broke it at one point.
On the floor.
And she lost it laughing at him.
She just lost it.
This was the funniest
laughing.
thing she'd seen in weeks.
Yeah.
Like, she just thought this was
laughing
great.
really hard.
So the mood between the two of them was whimsical almost. It was really, really nice to just be around it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it felt very, like, family-wise, but we don't have to be in the family.
So let's talk about the beef a little bit. So we each got to try a rosu and a hire, which is, rosu is...
Wow, I don't know these words. I know what those words are, but I don't know how they correlate.
What are
There's
the two?
sirloin and
is rosu,
tenderloin.
and tenderloin is hire. And the tenderloin is very, very soft. When you eat this, it almost just falls apart in your mouth. You have to chew it a little bit, but not much. It's just like the texture just disintegrates. And the sirloin has got more fat in it. It's much firmer. And to me, it has more flavor. And that was kind of my takeaway from it. But I would say that, like, this is probably, I don't know if I'm riding the hype, but I can't think of better beef that I've ever had in my life. It was very, very good.
I will probably never order a steak.
Yeah.
I will be straight up. Like, I probably won't
But how
ever
did you
order a steak.
Because after yeah, it was just like, I can't even quite grasp how good it was. And I'm not like a big fan of steak. Like it's fine, but I don't like look forward to it. I'm not like a steak person. But just the amount of flavor that came out of that rosu, the sirloin one, was unbelievable. And almost to me, the defining flavor was in the fat, which is not what you would normally expect. But it was just like, it was so freaking good that I'm just kind of taken aback at how delicious this was. Did you have anything to add about like the meat or whatever?
I feel like the way that you're describing the meat, that I didn't fully understand what was on my plate. The first scoops that we got, whatever the first scoops were, was my favorite.
Okay, so you liked the tenderloin that was...
But I didn't feel like it was as soft. I felt like it was not softer than the sirloin. The sirloin had that fattiness to it that made me feel like it crumbled. So for some reason, I'm feeling like I just didn't have them right, but that's the order. You said the order in the same way that we got it. I'm very much a tenderloin girl and not a sirloin girl. Like that's where I landed with those things.
I appreciated them both because they were significantly different from one another.
They were, yeah.
Even though they both came from the same animal. Like, you know what I mean?
I like to, I don't want something to just melt. I want to bite into something. So that's, and that's weird.
I wonder if you still have them reversed now, because the sirloin to me was the one that had more like, more bite to it.
I listened to everything. I understood what I got. I liked the first group better. So maybe I have the words backwards or something like that. Anyway. But regardless, doesn't matter.
Other things that came out, we got the garlic rice, which I thought was amazing as well. And then he brought out a miso soup that was just like somehow one of the best miso soups I've ever had. And during all of this, perhaps maybe influencing my opinion a bit, there was some sake coming. So we had nihonshu, and we had a couple of different varieties of it.
Well, we had two varieties that
from
are
Kobe.
Kobe ones. He told us that the water in Kobe is it comes out of the earth.
They say this all the time. Don't every prefecture has the same story.
And they have some breweries close to these springs or wells or whatever.
But it was good, and
it was tasty. They were fun.
They were different from each other. One was fruitier than the other, and one was a little like slightly sweet. But it wasn't like your one cup. It wasn't nasty like that. It was really smooth and really delicious.
Yeah, and I just was asking random questions to him, like, what did you want to be when you were little? And like, I don't know.
This dude was like super into chatting.
Yes.
Like, he was a really social person in a good way.
And we had some good chats, and
then he started.
We were just relaxing pretty much.
He started drinking too, because like one other customer came in. He had his whole service and everything, and then he went on his way. And then the older lady, she got a taxi and she went home, and he was drinking a beer. Like,
his name is Nori-san, by the way.
Yeah, he was drinking a beer with us, and then he broke out more nihonshu, some more sake happened, and he just started giving us more sake. Like, he was like, whatever, it's free, no problem, whatever. And then he was like, okay.
Then he said, do you like dried fish?
Yeah.
And I was like, I can get down on that. And I look over at Eric, and he's like, I don't like fish. And I was like, okay, I don't really know where to go with this. He said he was going to a restaurant, like his friend's izakaya, to celebrate it being open for like 20 years. And Eric at first was like, no, we gotta go. And I was like, we have to go. And he was like, but you should come. And I was like, you're really, really tempting. And I looked over at Eric, and Eric was like, I think we're in on this.
So we walked across the street with this dude. He like locked up shop, and we walked across the street and went to this other izakaya, and there were some little dried sardines. Little dried sardines. They were
like this long.
And another bottle of nihonshu happened.
Yeah. And then the dude's wife showed up, and we were eating sardines together. Alright, are you ready? I'm ready. Harder than I thought. You made it look easier.
Very hard. And to round everything up, people are probably going to be very curious, what did this cost?
Too much.
Did it cost too much, though? Did it really, though?
Do you know what the total was?
I know what the total was, but when you think about the deliciousness of everything, And then you think about the fact that this dude just gave us a bunch of extra Nihon shoe, and then he was such a nice person, and it was a entertaining evening, and then we went and met his wife, and we had some dried sardines, and like, you know what I mean? The entire experience. I did eat one of those fish, by the way. I want that on the record.
Yeah, he did.
It was fine.
I think I had already swallowed that we were going to spend more than I was comfortable with, and I wrote off whatever the price meant. So the experience that I had was basically priceless. Like, it was really, really cool. He was amazingly nice.
Say the number.
Oh my god, I gotta say the number. 27,000 yen plus a little bit.
It's around $250.
Oh no.
It's
Eric, I can't deal with that.
Katie doesn't do well with like spending lots of money.
We will spend no money. We are eating garbage tomorrow. We're eating garbage tomorrow. You realize that, right?
It was probably the most money we've ever spent on a meal that I can think of. Maybe somebody is watching this video and I'm like, no, 7 years ago you ate at this thing and it was more. But for us, we're usually pretty cheap asses when it comes to things. But we YOLO'd this one.
I was like, I can get a dinner for a coin. But then I think to myself, you've eaten so many meals that were less than 1,000 yen.
There you go. Boom.
So all that money that I saved up on all those less than 1,000 yen meals, I just spent all that I saved up, and it was totally worth it. I feel like I got the best.
So 2 things. One, first takeaway is that this was like quintessential Japanese experience because the service was incredible. The food was made very, very simply in a way. Like, it's not a whole bunch of stuff that they put on it, but it was just perfect. It was very well made, done perfectly. And so it's not like he's like putting a bunch of sauces and like this and that. It's a piece of beef, some salt, some pepper. It's done. That's it.
Yes.
And then you can dip it in a little bit of pepper, and you can put it in this little sauce that he has. It's like a soy sauce with a mustard that's not spicy. And the simplicity of each item, and then how they complement each other, and how everything is done was just like impeccable. It was very, very well done. And I had a second thing that I wanted to say, but I have now blanked on it. And I should never say I have 2 things, because by the time I get to this point, I don't remember what the other thing was. Dang it.
I wasn't in your brain during that time, but it was very important that the simplicity got shared on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was just a very enchanting experience.
Yeah.
And slightly overwhelming, especially when the second bar happened.
When we were walking down the street with this guy, I was like, all right, this is where this is going. Here we go.
Normal. And I was like,
and you know what? Outside of Tokyo, that kind of not that abnormal. Like, just you end up in this whirlwind of like fun with somebody, and then off you go. But usually, I don't really think that usually happens with the chef. But it was cool. It was a really cool experience.
Yes, I'm so happy you made that telephone call.
I remember the second thing I wanted to say. Some people might be like, well, why is this being talked about after the fact instead of being filmed during the time that it happened? In this type of experience, I love bringing people along for things as much as we can, but not to the detriment of the experience for us, and especially for the chef or the other people that may be in the room. And if we had been trying to film this and talking to the camera and everything, we would not have had the same experience. It would have been different. There's no way that once you bring a camera out and start filming yourself talking about things and stuff, that things stay the same. It will change the situation. And this is one of those situations where it was too important to me to have it be the correct situation and be polite to the chef and everything, that I wasn't going to start breaking out the camera in a way that was like awkward or offsetting or whatever like that. I wanted him to be able to do his game, and I figured I could just take a couple of shots and like put them into this video that we can explain at the end, and then everybody would have as much of the full picture as that I'm capable of painting. So I just wanted to explain like why this one was filmed in that way, and that's it. Just to be polite mostly and make sure we get the most out of the experience, and he gets the most out of the experience as well.
Yeah.
We got
really fun.
one more day in Kobe.
And now we have to do laundry really late at night. Thanks, Nori-san. It was very fun. I like my glasses. I can see.
I can't.
Good.
So it's March, and we filmed this in December, so it's been a little while. Do you remember what we spent on that dinner?
Ooh, I don't want to talk about that dinner.
Do you remember what you spent, though?
It was the most expensive food I've ever experienced.
You remember what you spent?
It was like in the 100 to 150 for a meal. That's just wrong.
How do you feel about that on retrospect at this point? Are you still happy you did it?
I don't know if I'm like more excited about that I can go around flaunting that I spent it on the Kobe beef or that it was genuinely a very good meal / experience.
Okay.
I'm very happy that the money that I dished out, I walked away feeling like it was well spent. Because you could go and you could have a Kobe beef dinner or experience and it could fall below what you spent. And I definitely don't feel like what I got out of it, it was equal, if not better than what I spent on it. Or maybe I'm talking myself into it.
I like hearing a bit of a time-gapped opinion. So it's good that you still have positive memory of it. And you weren't like, what meal? You were like, what meal? I'm like, whoa.
That is definitely not a what meal situation. That grandma's going to be in my memory until my memory decides to delete it.
So this was the first video from Kobe. I think there's going to be one more coming. So make sure that you have subscribed down below and press the like button to help us maybe help other people find these videos and all the fun stuff that you can do to help the YouTube algorithm. And there's also a bunch of other places you can head over.
Yeah, to Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Twitch, and also to Patreon. And thanks to all the people for making that dinner happen.
Yes, absolutely.
We feel weird about where we spend money sometimes, but it was totally worth it. And hopefully you can taste how good it was.
I wanted to hit up the Twitch a little harder. I'm putting forth quite a bit of effort over there, trying to get things going really smooth.
You know what? I asked you if you wanted to stream tonight, and I gotta know.
Well, because I gotta finish this video.
Your priorities are in the right area.
But yeah, we got like 1,000 followers over at Twitch right now. So if you're a Twitch person and you're into that, come over there and check us out. We do video game stuff. But
sometimes you ride a bike.
Yeah, I did a big bike ride a couple days ago. It was a lot of fun. I'm looking forward to doing more of those.
Sometimes I just sit on the floor and do crafting.
Yes. Yeah. So yeah, Twitch is becoming something we're integrating more into the lifestyle that we have now that we have a little more room and I've got a little more time. So
and I think we'll make it even better as time goes on. We are slowly amassing not only experience but possibly better equipment, better ability to share what we're doing. So I'm kind of excited about that because I think it's easy for you to share what you do, which is like playing video games and going out on a bike. But things that I do are not easy to share. I don't
like sitting in the corner picking your nose.
Sitting
like,
in the corner,
doing?
Definitely picking my nose. You have to get a nose cam so that people can determine whether I've done a good job at picking my nose.
All right, everybody. Thanks for everybody watching, and we will see you soon in another video.
Bye. Looking at what you are videotaping, and she was like, oh, it does have a pussy.